Today we're talking about celibacy. Sommer Ray announced that like she's not gonna fuck before marriage anymore. So like a born again virgin type vibe. Dude, there's so many influences out there right now to young women to like just go out there and fucking like show your pussy and make money off your pussy. And those are shameful acts.
Right.
You know, someone thinking you're a hoe, that's a shame.
Someone
thinking you're a horn dog,
what
that's
if
a
it's
shame.
a situation where she like was a hoe, like way long ago?
And it's honestly crazy when I hear girls say that shit. It's like, yo, you gotta try to be celibate for 6 months. I gotta try to not be celibate for 6 months, bro.
Welcome back to the Otown Talk. Thanks for tuning in today. We are just gonna hop right into it.
Need more energy out of you, Bailey. Come on.
But there is something I wanted to address before we get started. And that is the fact that Braden is wearing rip-off pants.
Yeah, that shit's crazy, dog. Straight up stunt man.
Not like rip off like the actual brand. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, it's still Nike, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I got my magic mics on today. Something might happen during this podcast. I can't,
So, and it kind of pertains to our topic because
it does.
Today we're talking about celibacy and if it needs to come back in 2024. And what kind of the reason these pertain is because like you could rip these off for a bitch. That was a whole nother story, but whatever.
I'm gonna do it right now if you guys want. That's for the Patreon.
So Sommer Ray announced that let me just preface the whole thing first. Sommer Ray announced that like she's not gonna like fuck before marriage anymore. So like a born again virgin type vibe, I guess.
Nice.
And
was she known to like sleep around before?
No, that's the funny thing. That's actually what I was about to say. She actually was never a big fucker, apparently. Because I remember watching a podcast. That she was on. It was Impulsive, actually. She was on Impulsive. And she said like on there, like she makes all her guys wait. Like she was with MGK. And even MGK, she made him wait like fucking like 6 months or some shit like that. So I guess she was never like a huge fucker anyways.
No, but she's a little fucker.
but which is kind of, I mean,
petite fucker.
It's interesting, right? So I like it because like, dude, there's so many influences out there right now to young women to like just go out there and fuck and like show your pussy and make money off your pussy. And she's like kind of, I guess, going against that agenda. And it's good to like have a balance. You know what I mean? Like you got your hoes and then you got, famous good girls, for lack of a better word. And then so it kind of balances out, and right, so she can like take some of the people and be like a good inspiration for them. But on that same note, she's almost kind of a hypocrite because like all her content is her ass. Yeah. Like she's a huge, like she got famous because of her ass.
Is she gonna stop doing that now that she's saving
no
marriage?
Oh, no.
She's still gonna continue.
Yeah, posting aspects. She doesn't do OnlyFans. I don't think so. She probably has an OnlyFans, but she doesn't fuck on camera. I know that. No. So because she doesn't fuck. But her Instagram and shit is like literally just ass. And I mean, you can argue because she, I guess, was really into like the fitness bodybuilding type shit.
That's why she has such a great ass.
Yeah, like so she was coming up around the same time as like Bradley Martin and shit, like back in the OG like YouTube fitness days.
Bradley Martin have a thing or no?
No, they're friends.
They just came.
They collabed together and stuff.
That's what it was.
But they were never like
on like fitness shit.
Yeah,
right.
But so I guess you could argue it's more like showing off a physique thing. I guess that's kind of like what helps her a little bit, at least with her image.
Too, so
oh, she is.
I mean,
bro. Like,
so on top of that, I mean, she's a beautiful chick.
Which is another awesome thing with her going celibate. It shows like you can be sexy as fuck and still make these guys wait.
Is she doing her own like just like what's the word, like for her own personal?
Yeah. Whatever? She said like, I guess the tweet that went kind of viral was like, if you want to be with me, you better not like want to fuck or some shit like that because I love this celibacy thing. And like, I'm waiting till marriage was basically, so she loves doing it. It's like good for her mental health.
I think celibacy is good.
I think it's awesome, dude. I think hookup culture is so bad. I really don't like it. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I'll participate in something.
It just diminishes.
I was gonna say, from you.
But I really don't. But I don't necessarily like it. Like, for example, just because like I would do a drug doesn't mean I think that drug's healthy for me. I think the same thing of hookup culture. Just because I'll participate in it from time to time doesn't mean that I think it's a good thing for me or anybody else.
Right.
Sex is healthy, and doing stuff like that is healthy for us humans. But just like anything else, if you start to abuse it, then it becomes there's things about it that you should like really enjoy and that you only get in this time, but it gets taken for granted when you're just fucking
exactly. It what's the word?
Or just hooking up in general.
it like devalues it, for lack of a better word. Like it makes sex seem so like meaningless. And like really, I mean, it is like at the end of the day, like even in nature, like we're monogamous creatures.
Absolutely.
And like it's meant to be like a bond between two people, right? Whether we're talking religiously or even naturally. Like yeah, you can argue like guys are into fuck like look at a lion, but we're not fucking lions. Like look at what is it? Geese? Geese only have one partner for life. Is it geese or some sort of duck?
It's some sort of bird or something along those lines.
And it'll like die from a broken heart type shit when its partner dies. So there are animals in nature that are monogamous. So like, why are you looking at the fucking lion and not the goose or whatever the fuck? Like they're both things in nature.
Right.
So like, yeah, you can argue that, and yeah, you can argue like men have the natural urge to like want to have multiple partners, but I mean, that doesn't mean it's right. Like, then we can take it back to the religious thing, and that's all about fighting your temptations and resisting your temptations. Just like you get tempted, what we were comparing it to drugs, just like you get tempted to do drugs and drink alcohol, that doesn't mean it's a good thing for you or it's a natural thing for you or it's okay for you to do.
Right.
It's still, at the end of the day, bad for your health in that regard. But mainly with sex, it's more of a mental health thing. You know, I feel like it devalues it when you get into that relationship. Like, let's say you fall in love with somebody who's extremely like sexually inexperienced. And so the sex isn't all that great, right? And you're like super experienced and you fucked a ton of people. So you have like crazy sex. Now, like you're having sex with this girl and she is probably doing just fine, like naturally speaking, like it's just normal sex. Like, you know, it's a pretty simple thing to follow, right? But in your head, because you've done so much crazy shit, this is boring to you, and you're like, oh, this sucks. And even though you're like in love with this chick, now your relationship has now like taken a notch down because the sex isn't good enough for you, because you've been desensitized to sex, right? You know what I mean?
100%. When in reality, it's probably a good thing that she's had an experience.
Exactly. It shows that like she respects herself, she respects her body, and she doesn't just give it out to anybody. She
values what sex is.
And so, because I was actually talking to some people in the office the other day about this. They were like, nah, you want to get with a girl that has at least like 10 bodies. I'm like, I was like, nah.
I see where they're coming from.
Well, that's what he said. He's like, because they're more experienced. And I'm like,
even that's not true. I mean,
I guess if you're hooking up, then probably you would want somebody who experienced. But if you're going into a relationship, that's when you would probably
less experience is better in that scenario, I would say. And like, whatever. That's a whole different topic. So what do you guys think about the celibacy thing?
Well, it's just ironic because I started watching this show on Netflix called Too Hot to Handle. And for some odd reason, I cannot get fucking enough of that shit. I really can't. It's so fucking funny. But it's just ironic that you want to talk about celibacy, because that's essentially what the show entails. So they basically have a prize money amount that they can win. But the rules are, it's called a retreat essentially. So what's cool about it is that, they're not allowed to do like anything sexual. Can't kiss, have sex, nothing. Like,
what did you say? Petting?
Heavy petting is what they described it as.
What is heavy petting?
I guess like grinding on each other, or like
they can't do
like
that.
Touching. Yeah. Like,
can they cuddle?
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, there's kind of like some gray areas. Like they can get in bed together and cuddle and stuff, but like, it's also a test because, you know, they don't want them to do that. Damn, where's I going with that? So, so you can't do any of that. And then if you do, then money from the prize gets taken out. So like a kiss is like $3,000. If you have sex, it's $20,000. Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
And what's the total prize pool? Like $1 million?
100,000. So it gets
that's not enough.
Well, that's kind of
for a full ass game show.
Yeah, well,
they're making millions.
I don't know how long they're really like at this retreat for. Like it might be like a week or two or anything. But the point of it is, they bring in like all these super horny, like hot, like individuals and
sex addicts, basically.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah. And what they've now been doing is telling them that they're like going on like this different show, like where they can basically like just party, have sex and all that shit. That, right. And then they find out that they're on this show and they're like, all right, like, you know, they kind of get pissed off, but some of them are like, okay. And like, as it goes on, they start to realize like, you know, sex isn't like everything. Like they learn to actually like value like. And the coolest thing is that, like, obviously it's these super hot people. So they're obviously going to be like tempted to do stuff with all of them. And they talk about like, oh, I just want to rip their clothes off, all that shit. So it's just so cool. Crazy. They do. Some of them actually do come out like different people. So it's just funny. Like it really goes to show that like, if you can control that and like learn to put that to the side, it only like increases like your emotional mental state of like how to kind of figure out who you want to be with, what you desire, things like that. So it's really, honestly, it's a pretty cool concept show.
Do you think any of it is staged?
Yeah, absolutely. Just like any other reality show. I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, not like in its entirety.
Set up, I would think.
Yeah, like there's certain moments, like if there's like a problem going on, it's like it shows like one of them like walking to the girl or walking to the group, and then they have like a conversation. Like I'm sure the producer's like, hey guys, like you guys should probably go over there.
Yeah, I think it's like a setup. Yeah,
like they probably
so not staged, but like manipulated. Kind of like
Jersey Shore. Like it's not necessarily like it's not like set up. It's not like scripted, but like they do things to encourage them to
do certain things.
Right. So like they're probably not like in their own free will, like gonna go like up and like talk to these people, but the producer's probably like, hey, like, you know, you might want to go talk to them about what's been going on, and then they record it and then they talk about it.
So it is kind of cool. I mean, that show's almost a double-edged sword though. It rewards celibacy, but it advertises hookup culture. So it's kind of a double-edged sword because you see, like, to the layman watching, I mean, you even said you watch it because there's a bunch of bad bitches on there.
Right.
So everybody's watching that shit. Yeah, horny watching it.
It kept coming up on my feed, and I was like, what the fuck show is this? And then as I watched it, I understood the concept. But like, obviously, yeah, obviously there's bad bitches on there. But
I've seen the show.
Yeah.
But I feel like it encourages hookup culture in a way because it makes it look so easy and it makes it like all those people look so weak.
Right.
But then it rewards celibacy. So that's where I feel like it's kind of strange in a way. You know what I mean? I feel like overall shows like that and things like that overall are probably pretty bad for like society in a sense because it normalizes the fuck out of it. It's like, oh, it's normal to be an absolute horny mess. You know what I mean? But you get rewarded if you're not. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, to an extent, yeah.
But for the average American, like we all find what's the word? Validation. Like so by watching that show, like if you're a horny mess and you see a bunch of other people being horny messes, you're like, oh, everybody's like that. So I can continue to be like that. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, they get rewarded if they don't, but look at that. They've already lost $50,000 in their prize pool. They clearly suck at this shit. So it's normal to suck at this shit. So it's okay for me to suck at this shit. And that's how Americans are. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, depending on how you view it, yeah.
I want to hear your perspective on all this celibacy stuff.
On celibacy, I definitely think it's a great thing. Like waiting till marriage and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have really much to say about it.
Yeah.
I think it's up to you, but I don't agree with the hookup culture.
Okay, yeah. 100%. I personally don't think waiting till marriage is necessary, personally. I just think you should limit, just have a healthy sex life.
Right.
Don't be fucking hookup culture like TikTok brained out here, like fucking our generation, Gen Z. And I get the millennials a good amount too, where it's just like sex all the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But don't be like, I think waiting till marriage has its own problems too. Like, one, you're missing out on a lot of life experience. Two, it's going to be very hard for you to find that partner.
Is that not what celibacy means? Does it not mean waiting till marriage?
No, well, that's what Sommer Ray is doing. She's full celibacy.
Well, celibacy just essentially means you're not like having sex or like doing it.
Yeah, like
sexual.
Yeah, like you can be celibate for a time
marriage.
Period.
Oh,
right.
You can practice celibacy.
Gotcha.
That doesn't mean that you are a celibate person.
Gotcha.
Like I'm gonna be celibate for 6 months. People do things like that. And it's honestly crazy when I hear girls say that shit. It's like, yo, you got to try to be celibate for 6 months. Oh, yeah. I got to try to not be celibate for 6 months, bro. So there's girls out there that literally will celebrate. Like they'll be trying to go 3 to 6 months celibate.
Right.
Like they'll have to actively try to do that. And I just think that's crazy. Like that just shows how far hookup culture's like gone. Like the fact that their brain is so polluted and they need that sexual validation so much that they have to physically try not to have sex. When usually it's the other way around. Usually you got to go out to get laid.
Right.
You got to be like, damn, I really want to get laid. Let me go chase some girls. Or even girls, they're like, let's go meet some guys. You know what I mean? Right. But like for some of these people that are so ingrained in hookup culture, it's like, I need to stay in the house or else I'm going to fuck. It's like, holy shit.
I mean, good for them for trying.
Of course.
Actively thinking about being celibate, like actively thinking like this is hurting me. I need to make an effort to do this for like 6 months. It's better than nothing.
I agree. My point, I wasn't flaming those people. I was more so saying it's crazy that it's gotten that far that people like that exist.
Right.
But it is awesome that they're taking steps to be better about stuff like that because they're realizing that it is bad for their mental health. And I'm glad that's getting out there because I mean, like, I feel like the feminist movement was like one of the biggest parts of what integrated hookup culture into our society. Because the feminist movement, although great thing, like, yes, we want girls to get equal pay, equal job opportunities, yada, yada. But once girls decided, like, we're horny too, and we should like not be shamed for having sex. And I agree, like you shouldn't be shamed for having sex necessarily. Well, I think both genders should be shamed for having too much sex. Personally, on both sides. But
I don't think it necessarily has to be shameful, but it's gonna have consequences whether you like it or not. Like your partner might not like that, and
well, yeah, I mean, I guess that's what I mean by the shame. There are consequences to those actions. Right. You know what I mean? And I mean, consequences in a way is shaming. Like what those consequences are is someone's going to think you're a hoe. Someone's going to think you're dirty, yada, yada, yada. And vice versa for the dude. Someone's going to think you're untrustworthy. Someone's going to think you're a horn dog, yada, yada, yada. And so those are shameful acts.
Right.
You know, someone thinking you're a hoe, that's a shame. Someone thinking you're a horn dog, that's a shame.
What if it's a situation where she was a hoe, way long ago?
No, I think you can move past hoe-ness, yeah. No, for sure. I've met girls like that. Like the girls that are trying to be celibate that I was talking about. Yeah. Like those, like that's awesome. You know, you're making a step in the right direction. I think you can come back from being a hoe. I don't think you're a hoe. And same for guys. I don't think you have to be a sex addict, fucking horn dog your whole life either.
No.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and yeah, I mean you
just got to be able to control it.
Yeah,
essentially.
But I mean, I'm glad to see that it looks like, despite the media trying to shove hookup culture and sex culture down our fucking throats at every turn, it seems like some things are starting to come around. And it's cool to see, to take it back to the original point of this with Sommer Ray. It's cool to see a huge influencer like her and a beautiful influencer like her promoting this for her younger audience. You know what I mean? I think that's going to make a big impact, and hopefully other big influencers like her will hop on the wave and stop making money off their vaginas. And even the dudes, I mean, there's like Tate, for example, he recently said that he wishes he committed to one woman.
What?
I swear he recently said that.
Isn't he the guy that preaches out never be monogamous?
He used to,
pretty much,
but now he's converted to Islam. And since he's been practicing that religion, he's become he was already like a stoic individual, but he's become more stoic in all realms. You know what I mean? And he realized that if he didn't waste so much of his time and energy, just going for girls all the time and balancing bunches of different chicks and relationships and yada, yada, yada all the time, and he just had one woman there to commit to and be happy with and to support him through his journey, he said he'd be worth $1 billion right now. That was the way he put it. He's like, he's already worth hundreds of millions. And he's like, I've probably missed out on hundreds of millions of dollars by putting so much energy into women. Whereas if I just had one woman that I was committed to and loved, I would probably be worth so much more right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's so awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but they won't tell you that part about Tate. They won't show that to you.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so it's cool. So even dudes are starting to do it. I mean, Tate's probably the largest, most impactful male influencer out there. So he's doing it. I mean, even fucking scumbags like Logan Paul getting married and shit. And he's always kind of preached, I mean, you got to give credit where it's due. He's always kind of preached he's a relationship guy. He doesn't like jumping around from girls, and he gets in relationships and he sticks in them for a long time. It's been recorded with his previous girlfriends and shit. So there are some big male influencers making an impact too. There's obviously still dirtbags out there that are just on their crazy shit, like the Sneakos of the world and all that shit. But
Justin Bieber went celibate last year or 2 years ago.
He's married now.
And he still went celibate. He posted something about it. I
think he's not having sex with his wife.
I guess so.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's even.
I don't know. That might be too far.
That's weird that it's public information that they say hey guys, just so you know, I'm not having sex.
Well, he posted it on his Instagram. It was something about. I think it was a long post.
I do kind of remember that.
I've been celibate for this past year, whatever. I've learned so much about me and my wife, stuff like that. So
that's crazy. Yeah. Do you think maybe what he was saying is they don't have an open relationship anymore?
They had an open relationship.
I don't know if they openly did, but I feel like a lot of those mega celebrities always do.
Nah, I don't.
Because the Hollywood scene is so fucking disgusting.
You think so?
Everything I hear is that none of them stay loyal.
Really?
Yeah, they're all, bro, what? Those people, bro?
Who's those people? Celebrities?
A-list celebrities and all that shit. And big time politicians and shit. They're known for having orgies and shit. Just crazy shit at parties.
Because they're rich?
Who was it?
It's conspiracies that they do.
No, this ain't even a conspiracy. I think it was it wasn't Justin Bieber, but it was someone that was with Justin Bieber at this celebrity's house back when they were all kids. They were 14, 15. And they because they were getting famous as fuck at a young age, they were invited to these adult celebrity parties. And there were people just fucking on couches at these parties. A-listers. He didn't put any names out there, but It was a celebrity. I can't remember his fucking name, but he's famous. And he he like music.
Oh.
He was there with Justin Bieber. And he like said it on camera. Like, yeah, I was at this party. I was like 14, 15.
Probably Orlando Brown.
And he was at who's that one guy that Bieber was hanging out with that like everyone thinks he's a pedo now?
Oh,
what is
the one that's dating Selena Gomez? What's his name again?
No, he's like
curly hair. He was in Dave.
No, he's black.
Oh,
he's like a rapper or something. Everyone
Jaden
thinks
Smith?
it.
That's what I was just about.
That's
to
what
say.
I don't
Jaden Smith is not young. I'm talking about he's old. Everyone thinks he's a pedo. Yeah,
R. Kelly?
Like no, it wasn't R. Kelly, but it's someone like that, like
Usher?
R&B type shit. No, it wasn't Usher, but Usher was involved. Like Usher was one of the guys under this guy. So like when Usher was young and coming up, he saw a lot of weird shit with this guy. I don't remember his fucking name, but he's famous as fuck. Someone knows who I'm talking about. Just think Justin Bieber and the guy that like mentored him, and like, yeah, a lot of weird shit's come out about this guy.
Oh, Scooter Bronson?
No.
I kept trying to remember his name.
I can't remember. Who cares? But yeah, so basically this is like public information that like they be having like A-lister orgies and shit. Because it's just
public
like the
information.
Basically.
I was going to say, why is this stuff not leaked? Like, why do more people not know about it?
I mean, this is a celebrity leaking it. And even Bieber's talked about it like subtly. Like he hasn't been straight up, but he's been like, yo, when I was like that, remember the Billie Eilish thing? Remember when he was like talking about wanting to protect Billie Eilish while she was young and coming up? Well, that was a big thing. Like back in like 2018, 2019. He said he wanted to protect Billie Eilish and he started crying on camera. He's like, because there's so much that like she's gonna get wrapped up in and I don't want anyone else to go through what I went through. And like he started crying on camera. Oh, that gives
me chills.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, they're all disgusting, bro. A-list celebrities and big-time politicians are the worst people on the fucking planet, I swear. I mean don't get me wrong. There's some that are good, like Keanu Reeves. I mean, he seems like a fucking awesome guy. Yeah. But like, those are like the outliers, the extreme outliers. And even Justin Bieber seems like a good guy. But there's definitely, now. I mean, like he might have went through he might have even been part of the weird shit.
He was a child star though. I mean, he's been, that kid was famous since he was like 5 or 6. I mean, like
or like 9.
Yeah. Well, I mean, still, I mean, he was still super young when he became like super famous. Yeah. Like, so I can only imagine dealing with that type of shit. Because yeah, Billie Eilish wasn't. I don't think she was as young as he was, but that might have been.
I think she was like 15.
Yeah, 16. She was like 15, 16. So I mean,
I think she was 16.
Yeah, but I mean, still, I mean, I can understand where he's coming from because, like, yeah, especially her being a female and the shit that they try and make them do. Yeah,
honestly, I don't think Justin Bieber did it though because Billie Eilish went through some satanic type shit. Like she'd be one of those satanic influencers now.
Speaking of satanic shit, did you see that Lil Nas X thing,
bro?
Oh, that shit was. People were not happy about that. Did you see that?
Shit, bro.
He apparently was promoting a song about something, and he was like dressed up as Jesus, and he had a bunch of like the Eucharist, like the bread. Jesus, like, and he had like wine, and he was literally just like chugging it. And he had like a bunch of the little like the bread they call it the Eucharist. He like was taking handfuls of it and just eating it and shit. Yeah, people did not like.
And he was doing gay shit like on camera, like with a bunch of gay dancers around him, and
that was
dressed up as Jesus and like on the cross being gay and shit. Yeah. It was really.
He really pushes that.
And that's just crazy because like you would never, bro. If anybody did that with like the Muslim, like Muhammad, like they dressed up like Muhammad and shit, and like made a thing out of that religion, bro. Lil Nas would probably be dead. Okay?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
He might be dead.
They'd send somebody.
And I wish Christianity fought for their religion the same way. I mean, maybe not the same methods, but well, okay. Now I'm generalizing. Obviously, there's bad groups on both sides.
Right.
Catholics and Christians fall into that, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's definitely bad groups in Christianity too.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, like with everything else.
But even like when I say like fight for the religion, I mean like the people that do it peacefully in the Muslim religion, like they're still very strong-willed. When it comes to Christians, we're such fucking pushovers, bro. It's like they say anything about God, and we're just like, well,
I feel like it's so westernized, like the Christianity, and it's not the whole country either. Like for Muslims, it's like whole in countries that like their government is like wrapped around their religion, but like it's not like that here. Everyone's just kind of like, man.
You know, Romania is a fully Christian country. I think like 95% of the population is Christian, and the government's considered a Christian government. And apparently, the crime rate there is like non-existent.
Isn't our government? Our government's like Christian, right? No.
The state and the church are separated. That was one of the big things of finding the country.
Freedom of religion.
Right, that's what I was gonna say.
Which is cool, and it's like that in other countries too. Like Romania, you don't have to be a Christian to live there.
Right.
It's just a country being a certain religion just means that their laws are based on the morals of that religion, essentially.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's awesome. I think that Christian-based countries, I mean, except for like the extremist ones, like you know, Afghanistan and shit like that, like except for the extremist ones, they seem to be the most peaceful, lowest crime rates. Like they get shit done. I mean, like,
are you guys Christian?
Yeah,
Catholic, yeah.
I called myself agnostic for a while, but I've recently, like within the last like 6 months, I kind of went back to Christianity a little more. I'm trying to be better about it. I got to pray more and all that stuff. I got to go to church. I still haven't been to church.
I feel like you don't have to go to church to be Christian.
I don't think you have to, but it's definitely like, think about it. Like,
I feel it's good for you, and I think that's the only thing that matters about it.
Well,
like,
no, but
I don't think.
But think about it. Like so the whole point of Christianity is a relationship with God. When you're in a relationship with somebody, you have to make sacrifices.
Right.
One of those sacrifices should be your time. And if God wants you to go to church, you should make that sacrifice for him because he died on a fucking cross.
Right, but how do you know God wants you to go to church?
Because he said it. He said Sunday is my day, and you like worship.
Yeah, but
me
can't
on
you
Sunday.
worship him at home?
Yeah,
Can't you
can't
you sacrifice other things? Like, why do you have to go to church?
I mean, I'd have to look more into the Bible, but I'm sure there's because it's like we learned it in school. Like it's it's good to go to.
It's good to go to church, but I mean, yeah.
No, I don't think you're gonna go to hell if you don't.
Well,
no,
yeah.
you can.
But I think you would be a better, stronger Christian, and probably like.
I think it's important if you are a Christian to go to church because you're being surrounded by like-minded people.
Well, yeah,
so,
I mean, for that reason,
way,
but I mean, you can practice that. I mean,
the way I see it, though, personally, is just that relationship thing I was talking about. When you're in a relationship with someone, they do things for you, you do things for them.
Right.
God guides your life. He gave you everything you have.
Right.
He died on a cross for you so that you could go to heaven. And I think he deserves your time on a Sunday.
Yeah.
You know? So that's kind of the way I look at it personally. So I need to get my ass to church. Like I haven't been going.
I'm gonna hold that on you.
Yeah,
sure your ass is going.
I do need to go, and I've been lacking on praying. I've only been praying like twice a week. I was doing it every day for like 2 months, and then I started just like here and there praying and shit because I started getting busy. And you know how that goes, like he falls out the head. But I do think about God a lot, and you know, I like to say God's like a lot more human. I think that's respectful.
You talk to him like a buddy.
Yeah, I do. I literally talk to God like
my boy. What up?
No, I'll dead ass.
Need your help real quick if you wouldn't mind.
I'm not
going through it, my boy.
I'm not even fucking around. I'll be cussing while I'm praying and shit.
I don't think you can do that. I don't think you should do that.
No.
I don't think you're supposed to. Like,
why?
Because
that's disrespectful.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to.
It's not.
Would you cuss to your boss?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you have a cool boss. It's
I don't even think you should cuss in the church. I don't even think they.
I don't know. I don't think.
Is that in the Bible? Swearing?
Probably. I don't think. I mean, I don't think they look up on it. I think it's kind of frowned upon.
Well, it's all
like
about
walking, man. I'm so fucking happy to be at church right now. What up, assholes? Man, let's go praise fucking Jesus. Like, no.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's the most professional thing to do.
No, I don't know. I mean, obviously you practice it in your own way, like everyone else.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like you have your own personal relationship with God, and I try to treat God like a friend. Like he's a superior friend. He's my superior, but like I try to talk to him like a buddy in a way. Like sometimes I'll be like, man, what the fuck? Like literally
do that for
like I'll be praying to him. I'll be like, man, I asked for this and this happened. What the fuck? And actually, I learned to teach you something. I learned like I really like. It was funny. I was talking to one of my coworkers back at the bar, and back when I worked there, and she like I had been talking to her about religion because she's really religious. And I was talking to her, I'm like, yo, I prayed to God and I asked him for patience, right? Or no, I didn't even tell her. No, that was the craziest thing. So this thing was happening and it was something that was really testing my patience, but I didn't even like notice it. I was like, man, I've been praying to God a lot and like things are almost like getting worse. Like I thought he was supposed to thought this was supposed to be good for you. Like I've been doing it for like a month and like my life is getting worse and worse and worse. And she's like, well, it's not like you just get what you ask for. Like she was like, for example, and this was like, I got chills down my spine when she said this shit. Because she was like, for example, like if you pray God and you ask for patience, he's going to put you in scenarios that require you to be patient. And I got chills down my spine because the thing that I was bitching to her about, I didn't tell her what it was, but I was just like saying like things are getting harder. The thing that was getting harder was requiring a ton of my patience. And so when she said that shit, I got chills because that felt like God was talking to me through her.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what are the odds that she says that example? Like when that is exactly what I prayed for. That is exactly what I prayed for. I said, God, give me the patience to get through this. And then things started happening that were testing my patience, making me a more patient person, you know? So that shit was crazy. Yeah, that was one of the things when that happened, I'm like, yo, God is 100% real. Like that's
absolutely
insane.
He listens.
Yeah.
It's just not, I mean, I feel like God's smart enough to know too. Like if you're just like, oh, dude, like I'm just gonna pray to you so that my so that everything gets better. Like, nah, he's gonna be like, no, you're gonna.
Yeah, no, you gotta be. I've learned, at least personally, you gotta be specific with your prayers, and you gotta be. You don't. So like, say
he's not gonna serve it to you on a platter.
Yeah, say you want to say. Let's just use my job for example. Say I want to make more sales. I don't pray to God like, oh God, please give me a deal tomorrow.
Right.
I pray to God, God, give me the charisma to impress my customers, my leads. God, give me the patience to continue looking for more leads. God, give me the I don't know, discipline to wake up on time and get out of bed.
Right.
You don't say, God, get my ass out of bed in the morning. You say, God, give me the discipline. You know, give me these attributes that'll make me better at the things, because God only helps those who help themselves. He gives you the tools to help yourself, and you have to choose to use them.
Absolutely.
So you pray for those tools. You don't pray for a specific event to happen.
Look at us. We're having church right here.
Sunday. Yeah, it is Sunday.
We brought it to church.
We're not even drinking.
There's a reason for that.
Into smoking in church still.
Yeah.
It's not
smoking and cussing. Like, what up, motherfucking pastor? What up, man?
It ain't like that.
What up, fucking father?
I forget what I said one time. My mom's a real old school Baptist, so she's real like, you know, God fearing. You know, that's how Baptists are. They're God fearing as fuck. I forget what I said, but I said, I called God a motherfucker. I was like, this motherfucker really testing me. And my mom was like, oh, you can't say that. And I'm like, Mom, God's got a sense of humor. He gave it to us. Like that. That's what I was like. He knows I don't actually think he's a motherfucker. He knows that like this is my way of being funny. You know, like ironic. You know what I mean? So, all right. Well, I think that's a wrap, boys.
One can hope.
And woman.
That's it.
Thank you for tuning in. If you liked, please do leave a like, drop a comment, fill us in on what you thought about the episode, any of the topics. I definitely want to hear about the celibacy.
We want to hear about your celibate journey.
Yeah. And
if you choose to embark on it.
Yeah, drop a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. All of our social media is in the description, so give us all a follow, including the Otown page, which we haven't posted on in a while, and we need to get on top of that. And yeah, that's a wrap. We'll be back next Wednesday. We out.
Doodle.